Good morning. I am Varalakshmi, Department of Civil Engineering from Maralakshman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. In this lecture, we are going to cover the major forces acting on the gravity dam. In previous lecture, we discussed the major four forces, that is water pressure, weight of the dam, uplift pressure, and earthquake pressure. So, in this lecture, we are going to calculate the remaining major four forces, that is wave pressure, silt pressure, ice pressure, and wind pressure. Okay, first we start with wave pressure. We are all known that water has tendency to generate waves. How the waves are created? Waves are created due to the blowing of wind. If wind intensity is more, a very much waves are very high waves are generated. Okay, waves intensity also more. If low wind is blowing, there a small waves with large distance is created. So those waves are create a major pressure because the in reservoir we store a lot of water. So that water will create a very much high intensity waves. So these waves will propagate in horizontal direction. So the wave pressure also in horizontal direction towards the dam in upstream side. Okay. So first we look at wave pressure. Waves are generated on the reservoir surface because of the wind blowing over it. Wave pressure depends on the height of the waves developed. For example, we are all played in sea, ocean or sea. In seas, what will happen? A large intensity of waves are generated with very much height. If a big wave is generated, automatically we fell down into the water. A small wave generated, then the wave will throw us to the bank side. Okay, if we kept strong opposite to the wave will propagate in middle our legs. A small wave will propagate through the middle of our legs. We didn't fall down. If we stay with less strong, so automatically the wave falls us into the water. So wave has that much pressure to damage the structure. So the dam should be resist this wave pressure. So the wave pressure is depend on the height of the waves and intensity of the waves. If waves are generated with very much height with more intense, automatically the pressure is high. The wave generated with less height and with less intensity, the pressure is very less. Height of the wave, HW, is the vertical distance between successive crest and trough of a wave. How the height of the wave is calculated? The height of the wave is calculated. This is the crest and this is the trough. The distance between the crest and trough is calculated as height of the wave. The wave pressure distribution is curvilinear, that means it is in the curved shape with a maximum pressure intensity of PW 2.4 W HW acting horizontally at a height of HW by 8 above the reservoir water surface. So the wave pressure acts at this height 3 by 8 HW at dam side and reservoir side 2 by 3 HW. So the distance between crest and trough is the HW. So this is the HW. Crust is highest point, trough is lowest point. The difference between these is the HW. So 2 by 3 HW is the force acting on the dam due to the wave generation, and it will act at a HW by 8 height. So the pressure acting horizontally towards the dam at height of 1 by 8 HW from the top. Okay. So the wave pressure acts like this shape. You should see the arrow. So the wave pressure acts like a in this way on the dam. But for design purpose, the pressure distribution is assumed to be represented by a triangle of height equal to 5 by 3 HW. For design purpose, we are using the wave pressure is in the triangle shape and 5 by 3 HW. The height of the triangle above the water surface is equal to 4 by 3 HW, and the height of the triangle below the water surface is equal to 1 by 3 HW. So therefore, the total pressure force given by PW equal to half into 2.4 WHW into 5 by 3 HW, that is 2 WHW square. Okay. So this is the distribution of wave in the reservoir. So this is the dam, and the wave is like this. We are taken one crest and one trough to cover one crest and one trough. So the approximate pressure line is this one. Next, and the still water level is this. Water level is up to this, but the wave is generated up to this height, below this height. So in water level it is 1 by 3 HW, above the water it is 2 by 3 HW. Okay. So the height of water is 1 by 8 HW. The water pressure is 2 HW square. And here the pressure is 2.4 HW. Okay. So this is the diagram of the wave pressure. Next, wave height may be calculated from the following formula. HW equal to 0.0322 square root VF, where F is 32 kilometers. So for less than 32 kilometers wave propagation, first formula is utilized. For F is 32 or less than 32 kilometers, then second formula is used. That means the wave propagation distance is above 32 kilometers, the first formula is utilized. If the wave propagation is below 32 kilometers, the second formula is utilized. Okay. Next important one is the silt pressure. Already we discussed in the unit 1 about silt pressure. What is the silt? Silt is the soil deposited in the soil particles are called the silt, and that soil particles deposited on the in the reservoir, then it is known as silt. Silt pressure is the due to the deposition of that soil particles carried by the river flows in the reservoir. The river brings silt and debris along with it. When the silt load gets deposited to an appreciable extent, the dam is subjected to silt pressure on the upstream side of the dam. The silt pressure also acts in horizontal direction. When the upstream face is fully vertical, the silt pressure is given by the formula PS equal to half RS HS square K. The silt pressure acts horizontally at a height of hs by 3 from the base. So silt is deposited at the base of the dam. So the silt pressure also acts at the base of the dam at a height of hs by 3, 1 by 3rd height from the base. Next, when the upstream face is fully vertical, the silt pressure is given by the formula P silt equal to half R Hs square Ka, where R submerged unit weight of silt material, Hs height of the silt deposit, Ka coefficient of active earth pressure 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. Phi is the angle of internal friction of silt. The silt pressure acts horizontally at a height of hs by 3 from the base. When upstream face is partially inclined, the formula is different. The vertical weight of silt supported on the slope acts as a vertical force. Then P silt equal to R sub A acting per unit length of the dam. So these are the formulas utilized for silt calculations. Next, the following criteria are recommended for calculating the forces due to silt. First one, horizontal silt and water pressure is assumed to be equivalent to the fluid weighing of 1360 kg per meter cube. In vertical direction, silt and water pressure is found as if silt and water together have a density of 1925 kg per meter cube. That means in horizontal direction, silt and water is 1360 kg per meter cube. In vertical direction, the silt and water combined pressure is 1925 kg per meter cube. Next, ice pressure. This is the diagram of ice pressure. So it is common in cold countries, now in not in India. It is common in cold countries. When water freezes into the ice, automatically the density of water, ice the weight is more and pressure also more compared to water. So this is the ice pressure. The ice pressure is more important for dams constructed in cold countries or at higher elevations. The ice formed on the water surface of the reservoir is subjected to expansion and contraction due to temperature variations. The coefficient of thermal expansion of ice being 5 times more than that of concrete. The dam face has to resist the force due to expansion of ice. So the thermal expansion of ice is 5 times more than the thermal expansion of the concrete. So according to Indian standard recommends that till specific reliable procedures become available for the assessment of ice pressure. It may be provided at the rate of 250 kilonewton per meter square applied in the face of the dam over the anticipated area contact of ice with the face of the dam. Ice pressure acts horizontal direction and it will be taken as 250 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Last one, wind pressure. It is a minor force and need hardly be taken into account for the design of dams. Wind blowing will affect waves directly and create some disturbance on the dam. So it is a minor force compared to other water force, silt force, earthquake force. Compared to these forces, wind is the minor force acting on the dam. It create waves, indirectly create if acting on the dam by creating waves and directly disturb the dam at high wind intensities. Wind pressure is required to be considered only on that portion of the superstructure which is exposed to the action of wind. So, wind will act on top width of the dam majorly. So, we must take care on the exposure, top exposure of the dam, which will affect due to wind. Normally, wind pressure is taken as 1 to 1.5 kilonewton per meter square for the area exposed to wind pressure. So, we accommodate the value directly, or if high wind pressure intensity areas, we are calculating the wind pressure according to IS standard recommendations. We have the code book for that. In syllabus, we are not utilizing the code book, but in designing purpose, IS recommends some code books for each design. So, if we are constructed the dam at a high wind intensity areas, then we are using that formulas for calculation of wind pressure. Otherwise, at low intensity wind areas, directly we accommodate the value. Okay. So, these are the major forces acting on the gravity dam. What are the 8 forces? Have water pressure, very, very important force. Next, weight of the dam, very important force. Next one, uplift pressure. Fourth one, earthquake pressure. Fifth one, wave pressure. Sixth one, silt pressure. Seventh one, ice pressure. And eighth one, wind pressure. So, for stability calculation of dams, we must calculate all these forces at the heel and the toe part of the dam. Compulsory, they should match with they create a balance between the forces between heel and toe. Okay. So, in next class, we will start with one examples how to calculate all these forces on a dam. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.